You've probably seen headlines claiming Alberta just made a shocking $20 billion pipeline deal with the United States, but is that true? Not at all. Here's what's really happening. Some viral videos boast titles like "Alberta just made a shocking deal." These imply Premier Danielle Smith signed a massive pipeline agreement with Washington. But according to every credible source like Reuters, CBC, Bloomberg, no such deal exists. The confusion stems from Smith's recent remarks on expanding oil exports. She highlighted that Alberta could potentially increase shipments to the U.S. by up to 2 million barrels per day by 2030. She also mentioned working on a pipeline proposal to Tidewater at Prince Rupert, BC, and exploring ways to de-risk the project to attract private investment, not a finalized agreement. She emphasized that these are early-stage conversations. Pipeline companies like Enbridge would only pitch a project if federal and provincial legislation supported it, including amendments to carbon policy, regulatory timelines, and Indigenous participation rules. So what did Premier Smith actually propose? She is urging Prime Minister Mark Carney to overhaul federal climate policies, specifically tanker bans on BC's North Coast and emissions caps she views as punitive, to make projects viable for private investors. Smith has even warned of a potential national unity crisis if Alberta feels marginalized by federal policy, though she still opposes outright separation. What's really going on with Alberta's oil exports? As of December 2023, Alberta reached record oil production, 4.53 million barrels per day, with 2024 averaging around 4.5 million barrels per day. In 2025, Western Canadian export capacity averaged 4.8 million barrels per day, expected to rise to 5.13 million barrels per day by 2030, driven by oil sands growth and the Trans Mountain expansion. In 2023, 97% of Canadian crude exports, amounting to about 3.3 million barrels per day, went to the U.S., with 87% coming from Alberta alone. The Trans Mountain expansion, launched in May 2024, added 590,000 barrels per day, nearly tripling Canada's West Coast export capacity to 890,000 barrels per day, opening routes to Asia-Pacific markets. What would a new pipeline actually mean? Economically, a new corridor to Tidewater, with backing from the Pathways Alliance carbon capture initiative, could cost 10 to 20 billion Canadian dollars and enable access to Asian refineries, reducing Alberta's reliance on U.S. markets. But the obstacles are substantial. Private sector support is tentative. Enbridge has said it would only move forward if legislative conditions were changed and federal regulation shifted. Environmental groups caution the timeline and viability is questionable, arguing global oil demand may peak before the project could be completed, turning it into a stranded asset. Complex environmental assessments, First Nations consultations, and infrastructure financing issues further raise the bar. Why should you care? The issue touches on jobs, energy sovereignty, and climate policy. Recent U.S. tariff threats, and even talk of annexation, have intensified the debate over Canadian reliance on U.S. markets. Polls now show rising support for diversifying export routes and building east-west energy corridors, although no new projects have materialized yet. Bottom line, no, Alberta did not sign a $20 billion U.S. pipeline deal. What's accurate is this: Alberta is strategizing, working on proposals to access Tidewater and global markets, and lobbying for better conditions to attract private investment, but no contract has been finalized, no shovels in the ground. What do you think? Should Alberta pivot fully to an international export strategy via Tidewater, or balance expansion to both the U.S. and global markets? Share your thoughts in the comments, and if this breakdown helped, please like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more fact-based updates.